All right, so we're going to start a new drawing here. This drawing is going to be labeled layers. So that's what we're naming this one. And we're going to use layers properties. And I'm going to talk about how we use layers properties in this particular video. So let's go ahead and make sure that we're Imperial, create your document. Remember, the very first thing we want to do is go up to our settings. Preferences should be light. Tracking, let's go ahead and turn on polar tracking, and we'll make this 90 degrees for right now. Object snap, just have endpoint. We only want endpoint to be checked right now for our object snap. And in our terms of our units, of course, we're going to switch these to decimal, and it will be a 3-place decimal. So our decimal degrees format on our angular units is good. Same thing with the precision, so we don't have to do anything there. Navigation is standard, and click done. Now, before we go into this, we're going to create different layers. You'll see right here in the layers property menu, we've got the new layer. So we're going to click that. But before we do, we need to go into object properties. And you'll see some different things here in object properties too. So we're going to make sure that so color, it should be checked by layer. Now, if you click on that drop down arrow, you see that we could specify and make this different colors here, where it would always come across as colors, or by block if we got blocks, or by layers here. So these are some different things that we can make adjustments to depending on what we want. And in this case, we do want that color to be by layer because we're going to set different layer types. And our line type, we also want that to be by layer too. So make sure that you click on that and make that by layer. Now, line weight is already set to by layer, so we are good with all of those for right now. If you kind of grab that bar and pull it down, you'll see that there are some other things in this particular object properties menu that can be changed. We will change those at some point here too, and we'll talk more about what all of these are, but that's a lesson for another day, so we're just going to leave that be for right now. All right, so go ahead and go into your layers menu. We're going to create different types of layers now. And first off, let's talk about layers. Right now, we have this layer O, which stands for object layer. So, and if you'll notice over here above our drawing area, we've got this window box here. And if I click the arrow, we're going to get lots of different layers that will show up in here as we're drawing. So in 2 places that we can make them active. So we'll be either here in the layers menu or up here, depending on what is easiest for you at the time. I find for me, most of the time, it's easier for me when I'm drawing here in the drawing menu just to go up here and click to change the layers. Now, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a few minutes, but I call that making the layer active, because we want whatever layer we want to draw on, that's the layer we want to have showing in this window box. But before it shows anything else, I got to go ahead and create some new layers. So I'm going to go new layer here. And I mentioned that we're making different layers for line type. So I'm going to name this layer my construction line. And we are going to use colors to kind of also determine the type of lines as well. So I'm going to go over here to where this box is right here. We'll check that. My construction line layer is going to be red, and I'm good with that. So now I'll click on that again once I made it. So notice now here in the properties, I'm at construction line and it's got my line type, and I'm good. So we're going to go now and we're going to create another layer. So new layer. This layer we're going to name hidden line. We've talked about how we have construction lines, how we have hidden lines. We're going to get some of our different line types here. And this one we're going to click the color box, and our hidden lines we're going to use green. Green's going to represent our hidden lines. So, and again, I'll just left click on that again so that down here it comes up, and I need to make this Notice if I now click on the layer line type here, I've got a hidden line right there. So I'm going to click on that, go back and click up on your hidden line again. So now notice as I'm clicking over here, what's happening to this window right here. So it is changing to the layer that I want to make active. So if I go to draw on that, the lines are going to represent on that layer, the lines will represent what I want. So one more line type that we have here. So let's go ahead with a new layer again. And in this case, we're going to use center lines. So we'll talk more about center lines as we go, but I want you to get that. So we're going to create the center line layer. And in this case, this is also, we're going to use red for these center lines as well. And that's just a setting that we've talked about. So I'm going to click on my center line here. So, and now I need to go down to the layer property and let's change that from continuous to center. I can go back up now, and now I've got different layers. So now let me show you how this is going to affect your drawing. So I'm going to click on my layers property, object layer, and we're going to draw a line. So now I'm going to insert that line at 5,5. That's going to be my endpoint. If you look right now down into your lower right-hand corner of the drawing area, notice down here where our X and coordinate is, 4,044.799 minus 130.495. So we're zoomed way out. So don't forget, if that's the case where you're at, I'm going to get over here and kind of try to get closer and closer to the X0, Y0. But I'm still zoomed way out. So when I draw this line, I'm only going to draw a 5-inch long line at the endpoint of 5,5. And when I do that, it's going to kind of disappear because I'm zoomed way out. So let me go ahead and show you this. We'll go 5,5, enter. So, and you can see just kind of moving my cursor to the right, I'm going to create a 5-inch line at 0 degrees. Now, right now it's a very, looks like a small line, but it's 217.146 inches long. So let me, that box is highlighted, my line length box is highlighted. So I'm going to go 5 and hit enter. I've already got it at 0 degrees, so I don't need to change anything. But again, so I'll hit enter, and that line was just placed. So don't do anything else, otherwise you're going to create another line, because remember our line command is still active. So let's go ahead and right click, confirm to get out of that, and the line disappears. Well, it didn't really disappear, it's just way out there in space. So I'm going to do a zoom. So I'll type in the word zoom and hit enter, and then I will use the letter A for all and hit enter to zoom on. There you go. Now we see our line, our 5-inch line that is in the object layer. Now I'm going to change now to my continuous line layer or construction line layer. So we'll bring up, and I just made the construction line layer active. So what that means is now I'm going to draw on the construction line layer. So, and I'm going to do another line there. And now in this case, I'm just going to come up on my first point on this. Let's make this one 5 again in the X, and we'll hit the tab or hit the comma button here, and we'll make this at 5,10. So we're just going to allow a Y spacing of 5 on each of those. Hit enter. So we see the line now, lo and behold, it's out of our viewing area at this point. Well, just use your roller button or your roller and track back. And again, so now we can see now, notice how it's locking me in at 0 degrees. Hopefully you remember the reason why it's locking you in at 0 degrees. Because right now, for me, I have polar tracking on. So if I turn polar tracking off, it's not going to lock in so as easily there with that. So I'd have to physically tell it so. So in this case, as an example, let me kind of grab and pull back. Notice, so Sometimes your screen goes crazy on you. So we're way up over here. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to draw this line and then we'll get it back kind of centered up. So I'm going to enter 5 for the line length. Since I'm not at 0 degrees right now, I'm showing 2 degrees. I'm going to tab over, hit 0, and hit enter to place that line. And again, notice I'm still in the line command. So right click confirm to exit out, and I will press down on my roller button. Yeah, I think I'm getting some goofy things going on with my connection right now. So let's just bring it back. It went way out there somewhere. So let's just type in, I'm going to hit escape twice to get out of whatever command I might be in. Now I'm going to type in zoom and all to bring it back into location. So, all right, so now I'm kind of up there. Put my cursor over and zoom, and we can kind of now grab. Yeah, see, now things are acting goofy here with my mouse. So if you have that happen, just again, remember to go back to zoom all. Actually, this time I'm going to zoom center just so you can see what that does. So I hope it wants a center point. So, well, I can't give it a center point right now. So let's just escape out of that twice. So, and zoom all. So to bring it in, all right, now I can do a zoom center where I'm picking up on this space. So let's go zoom. So when it brings up, I'll say center. And now it says it wants a point. So I'm going to just kind of put my crosshairs right there and pick that point. So, and hit enter just to kind of see what it does. And, I don't know, magnification already. So there's my center line. Notice in my construction line layer, it gave me that solid red color line because that's what we put. So let me zoom out. All right, now my roller track seems to be doing what I want it to do. So we were at 5,10 here. I'm going to now make my center line, or we'll go to hidden line next. So we're going to make the hidden line layer active, and I'm going to draw another line. This time it's going to be at 5, 15. So that's the x coordinate 5, the y coordinate of 15. Enter. And again, it's coming up, so we want this to be 5 inches. So I'm going to go 5 for the line length. We'll tab that over. I want that at 0 degrees, so I'll type in 0 and hit enter to drop that line. Still in the line command, so I have to right click, confirm to escape out of it. Now, notice, so I'm going to zoom window right now. So type in the word zoom, and we'll hit window, enter, or W for that. Now I can kind of just come up here with my crosshairs. I'm going to press the left button, and I'm going to go down to the lower right hand side and unclick. Click that. So notice now that line type is your hidden line, where it's a series of dashes. So that's my hidden line. And of course, the last line type that we have, so I'm going to zoom out here. Notice as we zoom, depending on where we place the cursor, I'm just kind of showing you how your zoom can be affected by where your cursor is placed. So you kind of always, when you are zooming, you kind of want to, and using your roller track, you want to kind of put the crosshairs kind of in the center of where you want to zoom from. So that's another little tip for you. So let's go ahead now and let's get the center line. There's our center line layer. So again, we're now drawing on the center line layer. I'll create a line type here. So we were at 5, 5 here. We were at 5, 10 here, 5, 15. So here we're going to be at 5, 20. Enter. So again, we're going to make this a 5-inch line length. Tab over to 0 degrees. Enter. So I'm still in that line command. So right click, confirm. Now let's go back in and zoom. Oh, I hit 2Z, so it came up with the unsupported command. So zoom, we'll do a window again here just for more practice. So I'm going to put my crosshairs to the upper left, press down on the left-hand mouse, move it down and to the right till I cross over, let go and click to place that. And now you'll notice our center line. Notice now it's like a line length that's twice this length. Then you have your cutout part, and then you got a small dash. So I call this the long dash, space, short dash, space, long dash line. That's our line type. That's called a center line. So zoom back out. So I'm going to do a zoom all here. So now we've got that in place, and let's go ahead and grab this right here and pan across. See, that's what's going on. For some reason, my computer interface with the doesn't like the panning feature on my zoom key right now. So we'll go ahead and zoom all, and I'm going to do a zoom center again just to kind of keep everything in place. So zoom center, and right here was where I want it to be centered on it. So I'll click that point, and my zoom magnification is good. So I'll just hit enter and bring that down where it's more centered in my screen, and it's time to save. So we'll go ahead and hit save. This drawing is complete. I can go ahead once it is completely saved. So then I can just go ahead and close out the drawing and go back to the main screen.